Okay, so this is a continuation video of the video that I made about upgrading a computer with unsupported hardware from Windows 10 to Windows 11. So I upgraded this computer from Windows 10 to Windows 11, and I want to see if all the programs that were in Windows 10 still work on Windows 11. So for example, I have Microsoft Office 2007, and this is Microsoft Word, and I want to see if this works. So in the disclaimer, it did say something about some programs might have problems. So I'm just testing out this one. Okay. So this seems to work. No problems. Microsoft Office is working. I want to see if my scanner works. So I have a Canon LIDE 210 on this computer. And I'm going to try to scan something. Okay, it seems to be working. These are drivers and computers I installed in Windows 10. So first I have to scan something, right? Let me do that. This time I'm going to scan something. It seems to be working pretty good. No problems. And that's what I scanned. So it seems to be working. So the next thing I want to check is if Windows 11 uses more resources than Windows 10. So this computer is an outdated Dell XPS 9000. And it doesn't have an SSD in it, so it is a bit sluggish. So I'll be running some videos in 1080p. Right now it's a lot of buffering, and hard drive is reading a lot, so it's kind of slow. So right now I'm just playing this video, but I want to see how many resources this computer uses. The main thing we want to check is CPU. 16 to 24%, 25. Not too bad. And I have a GeForce GTX 770 2GB graphics card in this computer. And it's running the video just fine, no problems at all. It's definitely not using a lot of CPU performance, or CPU resources, sorry. Let me try to run some other stuff as well. Surfing the internet. And the CPU that's in this computer is a Xeon W3690 3.47 gigahertz. So the CPU is pretty powerful. It's a 6 hexa-core with hyper-threading. So definitely, I think it's using the resources pretty efficiently. Let me open another browser. Okay. Got 3 browsers open. It's really not that bad. I'm playing a 1080p video in the background, and let me try to run a program. I'll be running an application in the background as well. Now I'm running multiple programs or applications, so far okay. Not a problem. I'll open another browser, this time a Chrome browser. Now it's definitely using more CPU power. Still, it's not bad. Definitely able to handle it. So it does seem like Windows 11 is a little bit more efficient in a way. Okay, running Powershell, background, running command prompt, still playing the video in the background. resources, it's using a 7% CPU power, 28% memory, 12% disk, 1% network. Let's look at the performance. It's running at full speed at 3.44 or 45 gigahertz. CPU with multi-cores running at a very high frequency isn't going to have any problems multitasking or running multiple numbers of programs. So it's using about 29% or 28 to 29% of memory, of my system memory. I have 16 gigabytes. And I think 16 gigabytes is pretty adequate for Windows 11 and Windows 10 as well. 8 is recommended. If you have anything less than 8, it's probably not recommended. In this day and age, you need a very large, you need at least, I think, 16 if you want to run a lot of stuff. So yeah, this is running pretty good. I didn't have any problems running different applications. Let's run Afterburner as well, see if that works. Okay, this is an old version of Afterburner. I guess I do have to get a later version. But it is reading everything, like the temperature for CPU, temperature for GPU, which is 31 degrees. I think it's Celsius. It's not Fahrenheit, it's Celsius, yes. So no problem running that. Let's see what else. See if Movie Maker works. Okay, it's working. It's not using a lot of my CPU power. I have a lot of CPU power to spare, so no problems. Yeah, so this is I think I could live with this. Now I just plan on upgrading my other computers which don't have supported hardware, like TPM 2.0 and UEFI BIOS as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and upgrade what I need to upgrade. And let's look at Windows updates next. Okay, I'm in the Windows update screen. I updated it yesterday, so everything is up to date so far, but I'm checking for updates as well to see if there's any more. And there is, and I'm able to get updates. But I'm just assuming that I can't use some of the updates that require TPM 2.0 or a UEFI BIOS. And those types of updates aren't going to be usable. But the other stuff like cumulative update preview for .NET Framework can be updated. No problems there. So before in Windows 10, this icon was at the far left, like there, but now it's right here. I don't have any problem with this. And another thing I noticed about this operating system is that you cannot move this tab up or sideways or whatever. You can't. It's just locked right there. So this kind of like reminds me, this type of this window kind of like reminds me of Mac OS or Linux in a way. And I think this is pretty good. I like this. Not bad. It even comes with a game. Solitaire. Okay. Definitely a game on here. Performance is not too bad. I don't have Microsoft Office for that, so it's not going to matter. I like how everything is here like that. It's interesting. You still have the search thing right here, where you could search stuff. Find applications and stuff. Let's see, apps. Okay. But the only thing I haven't tested was gameplay. And I'll be showing you some of that next. Okay, instead of a game, since I don't have any games on this computer, I'm just gonna run a benchmark. I want to see how much CPU power it uses. I'm just glad that it's running. This is about 134 frames per second, 110 FPS, 90 FPS, 116 FPS. So these are the numbers that I got when I ran this benchmark on Windows 10. The resolution on this computer, on this monitor, is 1440 by 900. It's about 40 FPS, 42 FPS, 65 FPS, 77 FPS. 53 FPS, 43. So we'll get an average. So pretty much all the programs that I had on Windows 10 for this computer is also working on Windows 11 without many problems, without any issues. So 158 FPS, 169, 159, 161, 160, 166, 142, 133. This is running pretty smoothly. .88 FPS, 89. It's about 88 average. I don't think there's a big difference in terms of 3D performance in relation to Windows 10. The layout on the bottom kind of like reminds me of Apple OS, because that's how Apple OS is like set up. The taskbar looks kind of like Apple OS. So this CPU is still pretty good. I think the CPU was released in 2011, but the actual computer, the Dell XPS 9000, was released in 2009. So I got a pretty good score here for this benchmark. And the CPU doesn't even break a sweat. The CPU is still pretty good. So I guess, yeah, I'll be using this computer. I just installed Windows 11 on this test computer to see how it would perform in relation to Windows 10, and I also wanted to see if there would be any issues running the programs that I had on Windows 10. And there really wasn't any issues at all, so this is looking pretty promising. So I might just proceed to just upgrade all of my outdated computers to Windows 11. I do have more modern computer, like a computer with the i7 10700 KF processor, and that computer certainly has the hardware or TPM 2.0 and a UEFI BIOS to run Windows 11. Because when you usually get a new operating system, there are some issues with drivers from the previous operating system, and another issue was that some of the programs wouldn't run. Like, for example, when I got Windows 7, some of the programs from Windows XP wouldn't run on Windows 7, you know, or when you upgraded from Windows 98 to Windows XP. You know, some of the programs and drivers wouldn't work on Windows XP, you know. And those are some of the issues that you had when you had to get a new operating system. But for this operating system, it doesn't seem to be an issue. So anyways, thanks for watching. By Ace 1000KS 1975 signing out.